Good morning, folks. My name is Zach Nicklin. I'm with the National Center for Autonomous Technologies, and I serve kind of as the guy in charge of the unmanned aircraft side. With me here today for FAA Drone Safety Week, we're talking about passion to profession, and we've got with us Mr. Harry Ballard. Mr. Harry Ballard is currently with the Minnesota National Guard. He's a warrant officer over there. And Harry, would you like to tell us a little bit about what you currently do? I introduced you kind of as the UAS guy, a warrant officer with the Minnesota National Guard. So you want to give us a little more there? Actually, let's
Oh
start
yeah,
with your disclaimer.
certainly. So, well, first of all, I appreciate the opportunity for you to, inviting me here to come speak. All you folks at Northland and NCAT, and you guys got to be proud at National Center for Autonomous Technologies to be, with what you guys have started. I believe you got a big grant last year to really stand this up and educate folks. So again, I appreciate the opportunity to come here and speak. So, but to continue on with, as you said, Zach, I am currently a warrant officer in the Minnesota Army National Guard. I I used to fly, but I don't fly a ton anymore. But I really run the drone program for the Minnesota Army National Guard. So we have a nice facility up at Camp Ripley that we fly now Monday through Friday. We've got I want to say, well, four full-time people, permanent full-time people up there, and two additional temporary full-time people up there just to run the program. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm the supervisor of that, and we've been going strong at that since probably 2007-ish from a full-time perspective. So yeah, that's what I got going on today.
Well, that's great. I've actually been out to your facility out there, and it looks really, really nice, especially as I think back to the times that we were on an open field
Yeah.
next to a live range. So
Yes, I know that wood ticks and all.
yes, absolutely. Good times, good times. But all right, so what kind of stoked your passion in aviation?
So funny story. So I can remember back. My grandfather was a World War II veteran, and it was just one day. My grandfather took me to an air show at Flying Cloud Airport. This would have been, well, yeah, I'm dating myself here, but probably the mid '80s, early '80s here. But and they had World War II airplanes flying there, and he would tell me the stories of himself over in Europe fighting in World War II, and it was from that point, seeing those airplanes, hearing their stories, that I really got kind of a was where that fire started, that the sparks for that. Shortly thereafter, I got into model airplanes from the hobby store, building glue that they never look like they do on the pictures, type things, and the little electric airplanes that you spin around on a spring or a string to Estes rockets, and all as before I was even 10 years old doing that stuff, and that eventually led into I met a guy. His name was Otis Smith, who flew full scale airplanes, and he actually flew radio control airplanes as well. And he had a couple of World War II radio control airplanes that I thought, oh man, this is the coolest thing in the world. With that would be awesome to build and fly those. And that's eventually what I started to do, was scraped up some allowance money, built my first radio controlled airplane, which I still have to this day. It's a Carl Goldberg sophisticated ladies sailplane. Walked into the store with my $100 or whatever it was back in the early '90s at this point to buy this stuff, and built it in my mom's back room, and tried to fly it all by myself, all before I could legally drive, and didn't have any money, was broke, and that starting from the beginning in the '80s to then, kind of led to where I am now with the RC airplanes, and I've been an avid RC airplane guy since the early '90s, still am to this day, be it fixed wing helicopters, drones, FPV. I do all that stuff to this day. So that's kind of where it
Wow, that
started.
definitely keeps you busy. Once aviation kind of gets in your blood there, it stays there. It really seems, talking to other people out there as well. So you were flying RC airplanes before you were 10. Yeah, and as you said, you're still doing that. So I know when folks think about Drone Safety Week and we talk passionate profession, I know a lot of people are thinking the quadcopters and getting your Part 107 and things like that. And do you by any chance have your Part 107, or do you just fly recreational?
I just fly recreational now. I was going to take the test because, I'm currently in the military. And again, all this stuff, I don't speak for the military or anything like that. I'm speaking for myself today. But, when I do, eventually retire in a few years out of the military, Part 107 will do me right. And, I do have my private pilot's license. I did get that, but I have not gotten my private or my Part 107 yet. That's on the to-do list.
Oh, absolutely. And with your experience, it shouldn't be an issue. So actually going through, and that's a good segue right there. So with someone with the private pilot's license, as long as you're current, it's actually a very easy process. You can actually do an online exam or a little more education there, and basically get signed off for it. You don't have to go and sit for the test the same way that us non certificate holders hadn't had to do. So that's absolutely great. But so with Minnesota National Guard, so how long have you been with that with the drone people there?
Well, the drone people there, I've been there since 2004 with the drones, but I actually started in the Minnesota National Guard in 1994 when I got in. As soon as I got out of high school, joined the National Guard, kind of didn't want my parents paying for college type thing. So yeah, let the Guard pay for the college. And with that still kind of leads into the passion of why I got into the Guard, because I always wanted to be a fighter pilot or fly the space shuttle or something like that. I think that's every kid's dream. I had looked into the Navy, the Air Force, all those things, but as you can see, my glasses kind of kept me out of a lot of that stuff, and that was well before the time of LASIK. So the next best thing was to go in and do helicopters. So as a helicopter crew chief from 1994 to 2004, all the while RC flying around in helicopters, crew chiefing, fix them. It's great. As you can see, the aviation theme here, and that's kind of where I got my passion for safety in aviation and drones as well. Learning to do things the right way, and got educated all things Army and the overkill of maintenance that the Army does on their systems there. But then started drones 1994. I was a sergeant in the Army, or 2004. I apologize, sergeant in the Army at the time, and the story is kind of funny that got me into this. I was flying. A couple of us used to fly RC airplanes after work, after fixing the helicopters, and we'd go out to the field. And guys at work knew that we did this, and a guy at work is Wade Mueller is his name. Actually, he said, "Hey, did you hear about this drone thing that the Army is doing?" "What drone thing?" And oh, well, hold on. He gave me some contact information, and I called just to request more information. That was the deal behind it. That okay, if the Army's going to pay me to play or fly drones and train me to fly drones, great. I called, gave him my name, number, email, all that good stuff, and just 2, 3, 4 months went by. I didn't hear anything back from him, and then I got a call finally that said I had been activated to go to Iraq, and I think some of us here know how that goes. Gone for essentially 23 months, but in that 23 months, I'd say it was one of the best experiences of my life. Met a lot of new people, trained to fly drones, went overseas, got to help the big fight over there and save lives over there, and just a lot of long days. A lot of guys think that flying drones is kind of a glory job, but it is a good job to have, but it's not always the most fun thing when you're stuck in those shelters 12 to 18 hours a day. But it is a great job, and kind of really led to where I am now, all because of the RC.
Wow, that's great. And yeah, I think a few people in the Minnesota National Guard experienced that. Hey, I'd like to get some more information. And hey, by the way, now you're a part of it. So I believe from the Minnesota National Guard, when they stood up that unit, they kind of took folks from all over the state. It was much different than a lot of other units there, where you're kind of regionally centered. So
Exactly, they took everything from MI systems repairs to all sorts of other folks to do that was just completely random into the unmanned aircraft system. So it was pretty awesome, and I got to meet a great group of people that I still keep in contact with, several of them to this day. So
Wow, that's absolutely great. Absolutely great. And so you still fly, recreationally to this day. Have you gotten into small drones? I know you're a big fan of the RC planes, and I think you even did RC helicopters for a while. Is that correct?
That is correct. So mostly, the airplanes and the helicopters, I don't do as much as the drones, both, FPV and, semi-automated stuff now through Flight Planner and things like that. Actually, I don't want to get too technical, but 10 years or so ago, I was into the Arduinos and things like that, programming and really into the autonomous flight, learning how to integrate GPS and things like that into these small quadcopters, and even tries in some way, shape, or forms, and how, putting GoPros on the things with these gimbals that didn't work type thing, before DJI really came along and to the forefront and made it easy for people to just go buy things. But yeah, that's today I mostly do that. And before Part 107 came along, I even kind of moonlighted on the side, did a lot of real estate and things like that. And then 107 came along, so they don't have that, then I no longer do that. But yeah, and now again, recreational, be it FPV or whatever else, I get out as often as I can. That's one of the nice things about the FPV stuff, that small little micro quads, I can fly it right out in the front yard and nobody cares.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I find myself flying some of the like tiny whoops actually
Yes,
in the office and around the hallways and things like that, FPV, and allowing students to do it as well. It's really a good time, and
yes,
things are a lot different, I guess, than when you started. I mean, when you started, you had to put some real time and effort into these builds.
yes.
Whether we're talking drones or the fixed wing stuff, it was a kit. Not too much was pick it up out of the box, turn it on, and go.
No,
Um,
you had to know about PID loops and sketches for Arduinos and things like that, just to get the things to fly without tumbling out of the sky and hurting yourself or destroying your quadcopter back then. But it's really come a long way. So folks getting into the industry now, I mean, it's absolutely amazing what you can walk into and learn.
yeah, absolutely. As long as you have those pockets to match it, right?
Oh
So,
yeah,
but
certainly.
no, that's great. Let me take a second here, and I'm gonna check the chat and see if we have any questions here for you. Let's see. So first we got Peter Grubner. He says, "Hello, Warrant Officer Ballard. Thank you for presenting. I am a high school UAS instructor. Is there a field trip opportunity for high school age students, or is there a or is the level of security too high?" So I'm betting he's talking about coming on out to Camp Ripley and taking a look at the systems out there.
So the answer I have for you is yes, there is definitely a field trip opportunity. Now, I don't organize them myself. The folks at Camp Ripley do, but yeah, we can definitely get your entire class up to Camp Ripley at the UAS facility up there. And you don't have to worry about super secret stuff. All that stuff will be taken care of. You can take pictures, ask questions, do whatever. But that, yeah, I don't personally organize it. The facility and the Camp Ripley operations folks do that, and I'd be more than happy to get that information to Zach or whomever else to get that to you, so you can organize that. That's no problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've worked with Pete before on a few different things. So if you want to just send me over the point of contact, I'll make sure to get it over to Pete.
Certainly.
And I know Pete's a great guy. He's really introducing drones into his classroom. He's really STEM focused, and he loves the hands-on stuff. So coming
Certainly.
out and seeing what you folks are doing out there would be absolutely great. So you folks, and draw a line wherever you have to. I know you've got the RQ-7s out there, the Shadows. Do you
Yep.
have any other airframes that you folks are flying out there?
So we've got the 11s, the Ravens out there too, and we will typically turn those on and show them the gimbals and the payloads and how that stuff works. But we normally won't fly out there because there's some issues with actually flying outside of training. But yeah, we'll have a couple of military drones out there for you to see and get some hands on, take some pictures, and ask questions. I know one thing we just have to be cognizant of now with regard to field trip is COVID type stuff. So I hate to bring that up. That's kind of the monkey in the room there, but that could be an issue. But as far as I'm concerned, when that COVID thing is done, or this COVID thing is done, that we're all unfortunately dealing with, we'll get you in there.
Absolutely, and that's a good consideration to bring up because right now it's tough social distancing and especially those teachers at school and getting people through your facility that aren't typically there in a day. I know that there's a lot of limiting factors right now. So Pete, hopefully that can happen here in the near future. We'll cross our hands and hope that we wake up tomorrow and COVID is gone and not a thing anymore. I do that every morning, and so far it has not worked. But maybe if you folks help me, that'll take care of it. So I'm looking on the chat here. I don't see any other questions at this moment. Zach, do you see anything on Facebook Live?
Feel free, ask away.
All right, maybe we lost Zach Blado there, or he's back in the background. So I don't see any immediate questions here on chat. So
Sorry, Zach, I had a Facebook or a call come in, so I couldn't hear anything that was being said.
no worries. I just actually see from Havy that she doesn't see anything on Facebook Live. Thanks, Havy, for monitoring for that for us. We've got a great team here that's been helping us out with this in the background, and I want to thank them for all the work they've done and helping put this together. Harry, I really want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to chat with us and tell everybody about your experience. I think you've got one of the more unique experiences that folks are going to be talking about today with the passion to profession topic. So thank you very much for allowing us to highlight that.
It's my pleasure, Zach. And again, I like I said, I appreciate the opportunity to come speak. And if you guys have any questions, I'll get Zach my Facebook or whatever else, and feel free to message me or ask me any questions. I'll help where I can. And I can't stress enough with the passion of professionalism. If you've got a passion, don't be afraid to take that calculated risk. Yeah, if you really want to get into the industry, because it's one of those deals where if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, and that really hits home if you've got a passion for this. And I get to manage and fly drones and operate drones, still fly RC. I mean, that's a wonderful thing to do. So I can't stress that enough. You want to do it, dive in head first. Plenty of opportunity there, and I would say it's still the ground floor to really build your own home in the UAS industry at this point.
All right, absolutely. I totally agree with that. And we actually had one more question come in, and it's from Rafalco Lee, or Lee Rafalco. He says, any thoughts on crossover talents for professionals to transition from traditional aviation into the UAS world?
I would say there's plenty. That's where so many people came from, be it someone in the full scale world got hurt or something like that, that they can no longer fly full scale, that gets their Part 107 or whatever. There's plenty of opportunities. A lot of it, the big opportunities now are that I see in industry is government contract work, but there's still people starting their own companies. But education is also another. For example, Northland Community and Technical College is one thing with the NCAT, and those type of opportunities are there. But there's definitely, with the aviation background, no longer able to fly, doesn't matter age, whatever else, there's plenty of opportunity. I even talked to a few folks the other day. There's all the states are starting to hire on drone people, which right now there's not enough drone people to really fill these roles. So they're hiring aviation folks, be it rotary wing or fixed wing folks, to fill these state level positions to run or write drone doctrine, at the state level at different areas of the United States now. So it's definitely, there's plenty of crossover.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, it goes across the board, everything from administering programs down to actually, conducting flight operations. I will say that on the small UAS side, the folks who are in traditional aviation, absolutely, most of that crosses over into your Part 107, and it's actually easier for you folks to get your 107 than those that don't already have a certificate. But I will say that if 107 is your focus, make sure, along with the aeronautical knowledge that is encompassed in the 107, you find your niche and do something that you're passionate about, that you have a little background in. Frankly, I mean, we can all we all own a camera. We have a camera on our phone, but we all know that there is a difference between the pictures that I take of my kids and the one I go pay for from an actual photographer. So it's the same in the UAS industry. If you've got an ag background, if you've got an industrial inspection background, try and focus it in those areas, or go out and obtain the knowledge in those areas that you need. Some folks I've seen just try and kind of walk into the profession without having a real idea of what sector of the market that they will serve. And that kind of does them a little bit of a disservice. So do a little research and find your niche is what I'd say with that. And Harry, of course, we got more questions coming in now.
All right.
Everybody's liking your answers. So next one we got from, oh boy, I don't want to butcher this name, but Ali Marin. Do you recommend sport piloting classes to get further details of FAA regulations?
Honestly, it can't hurt. Sport pilot, if you got the money to do it, it doesn't hurt. The more you go into it with, knowledge of aviation and national airspace, and be it Part 107 and, all the different FAR AIM stuff, the better off you're going to be. So I can't say don't do it. I would highly recommend either sport pilot or private pilot prior to, but you don't have to. But I would definitely recommend it. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Any extra knowledge, anytime you get up in the air, I definitely recommend that as well. Private pilot is somewhere on my list, but boy, I've got a long list I'm working from right now. So I'm not sure when exactly that'll be. So I think that was it for the questions. I did have one asked for another intro. So as an outro, I'll go ahead and encapsulate a little bit. So once again, we've got Harry Ballard from the Minnesota National Guard. He's talking on his own here, not talking as a government employee, kind of about of his pathway from having a passion for aviation through his time as a helicopter crew chief and on to working and flying UAS for the Minnesota National Guard. So for those interested who may have missed some, we are going to have this on our Facebook site. And usually the turnaround's been pretty good before the end of the day is what's typically been happening this week. The teamwork in the background has been absolutely on point and really moving stuff along. So once again, Harry, thank you very, very much for being here. For my support team that's working in the background, I really appreciate you folks too. If you'd like any more information on this, you can check out our Facebook page, National Center for Autonomous Technologies. Just do a quick search; it should come up with us, and all of our live events and recordings of our events should be out there. If you want further information on NCAT, you can take a look at our website. It's ncatech.org. So that's ncatech.org. And we got a full website up there, tons of resources, tons of little videos, and I'm sure this video will find its way up there as well. So thank you very much, Harry, for joining us today.
My pleasure, and thank you. Again, the folks at Northland and folks at National Center for Autonomous Technologies. I appreciate the opportunity and wish you all well.
All right. Well, everybody, have a great day. Go out and do some flying and find out what your passion is and how you can take that to a career. So have a great day.